Yeah, well, that was the first school that we had with the NHLA, National Hardwood Lumber Association. That was a building that was built to be able to have a house, a school for the students. The very first class, though, was held in a school here in town, and Dr. Instructor Swatbaugh had that class. That was the first class back in 1948. And fact matter is, a fellow by the name of Fred Dickerson, he just passed away this last year, but he was from the first class, and he was like 90 years old, and he used to come by and visit us quite a bit. And then, of course, all the different classes throughout the years, they have always had probably 40, 50, 60 students all the time. So, yeah. It was a big deal. That's where we started to learn how to grade hardwood lumber, teach everybody how to grade hardwood lumber. Yeah. Hey. I had a couple of these fellows here that were in the first class. They taught me. This fellow graduated in 1957. He helped teach me how to learn how to grade lumber, Dick Haddix. Fact of the matter is, I think he's still up there. He's in his 80s now, but he's still teaching folks how to grade lumber and grading lumber himself. Yeah, still active. Yeah, you know, a lot of folks from all over. They come from all over the world, really. We have people from Canada and different parts of the world, but most of them, of course, from the United States. But people know this is the only place in the whole world at that time we're teaching hardwood lumber inspection. Well, you wanted, what did you want to see down here, Tom?
Carol.
Yeah, that's Carol. Tell her. What do you do, Carol? Want to tell them what you do over here so that you're familiar in case they want to call in and talk to somebody?
Sure. And I help students get registered for the classes that we have here at the school. We have one in the spring, one in the fall. They're 12 weeks. We are starting to have a course that's 7 weeks that we're testing out for the first time, so we will probably add that to our list of courses as well. And that's about it.
Now, if you happen to anyone has any interest in the school, you want to call in and talk to Carol. She give you all the pertinent information about any of the registration, the tuition, and the housing, and she's kind of like the mother hen around here, takes care of everybody and takes care of everything, gives all the information.
Anything you have a question about or need, I will be glad to help you with.
Yep. There you go. As you can see, all the different classes starting from 1948, goes around every class has had a class picture, and with all the names on here, and quite often we'll get someone from might be on a summer vacation. They may want to come down to Memphis, and they'll stop by and take a look at their picture, and then laugh about how much younger they look back then, and might even see one of their past relatives, an uncle or a father, whatever. Sometimes we get father, son. I had father, I had son, and I had grandson over here before. I remember I had a guy in class. He told me his name, and I said, well, I think I know your father. And he says, no. He says, that's my grandfather. I said, well, I taught him too. So I've been here for a while. Yeah. Yeah. And here's a picture of all of the instructors since first one. Swatbaugh, he started, that was first class in 98. And then Lillard Nicely, Charles Sell, Otis Goolsby had quite a reputation. A lot of people know him. He was here for quite a while. Ralph Bolton, Bob Savastino, which he was a student himself. Then he ended up being an inspector for the National Hardwood Lumber Association. And then he came over and taught the school, and then he became chief inspector for a lot of years. Joe Snyder, James Snyder, Mark Horn, Tom Johnston, and of course myself. That was taken a little while ago. You see the difference there. All right, but every class that we've had all the way down the hall here, In fact, the matter is go down into our break room over here. Got a break room for the students, and all the pictures over here and down through the classes. Every class has got a picture. This little break room we have for the students. Got a fellow just called me from Kentucky, and he was in I think he was in this class right here in 2003. Anyway, he just called me, and he's coming down from Kentucky, and he's going to be over here probably today or tomorrow, and he wants to come by and see the school. And he'd been out for a while, been grading lumber and doing other things. Yeah, we got people from China. We have people from all over the world come over here. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Have you taught in every country? People from every country?
Yeah, just a lot of different countries. Oh yeah, I mean, heck, I've had, like, say, China, Japan, Myanmar. I've had, I don't know, you name it. There's about every country I can think of. Netherlands, all over.
A lot of people from Indonesia, right?
Oh yeah, Indonesia. We had India. I mean,
A lot from South America.
yeah, we had from Brazil. And we had some. We had folks from, of course, Mexico and stuff. Yeah, oh yeah. We can go on the other side and see the rest of the pictures and see the classroom over there. Yeah, there's more pictures, goes all the way around. Fact of the matter is that wall, they come around to that wall over there. That's the last spot we got for a place, and I don't know where they're going to go after that. Maybe back on the other side of the building. But the whole wall is filled up with people. Yeah. This is our classroom. Actually, we have seating in here. We could have 70 people in here if we wanted to. I think a couple of different times back in the earlier years, we used to have a lot more people, but we had, I remember one time we had to start a class, we had to put some extra chairs out there because we had every seat filled up. But
Tell me about the desk.
Yeah, the desk, actually these desks were made out of truck flooring. And Anderson Tully, over there on 7th Street, 7th Street over that way, they had a truck flooring plant. And so as long as the lumber was sound, they could make truck flooring. And so when they built the school over here, everything was donated from this school back in, 78? They started, I believe it was, 1978. And so then they brought Anderson Tully donated the truck flooring, and they made these desks out of truck flooring. And of course, they've held up just fine. Some of them have some characteristics, have some knots and defects, but they're solid and sound. And so, yeah, they've been here. We got the steps going up there. Some of them, we had a lot of students go up and down those steps, and they're nice and solid. They had, like I say, it was sound wood. It was oak. And we had a lot of folks over here throughout the years. Yeah. This is our blackboard, and we just most recently got a whiteboard, getting more high-tech and getting a nice whiteboard, and we use the chalkboard and whatever we need. And then the students, they go ahead and we have a lecture in here, and they'll study in here, and then they'll go and they'll study in the break room. And then we got we can see the seminar room back there too, and show them the seminar room. And then we go out and show the port where they're grading lumber out there too.
Mm-hmm. You should drink that and remove your ear. This is a big distraction, I'm telling you. When you fail, you will understand.
Any of our grade lumber runs anywhere between 4 and 16 foot long. That's what we call our hardwood grade lumber for length. This particular board is 10 foot long, and the board is graded by the amount, for one thing, the board size, the width and the length has to be a required board size in order to make a particular grade. But what we're looking for is clear wood. And in this particular piece, it's got a lot of clear wood, but we have a defect right here that is something that we'll have to measure away from. And even the highest grade that we have has requirements as to how much clear wood that we have, and not the number of defects, but where the clear wood is located away from the defect. Example, this board being 10 foot long, and it's 5 3/8 inches wide. In order to make the highest grade possible that we have, it has to be a 6 inches wide. So this board won't fit into the highest grade, but it'll go, because of the board size, down to what we call a select grade. When we determine the particular grade from the board size, we have to, like I say, get the amount of clear wood that we have here. Well, it has to have at least 6 inches wide for the highest grade, like I said, but we have to have a certain amount of clear wood. That clear wood has to be in what we call legal size cuttings. Example, when we look at a cutting is a portion of a board or plank obtained by cross-cutting, ripping in, or by both. All this right through here is clear wood, and it would be considered one cutting up to this defect. So this is considered one cutting, and then from this defect over would be another cutting. A lot of people think about cutting, they think about it as a verb, but really it's a portion of a board. Even though we may cross-cut here, even if we had a defect and rip, this portion of wood that we get here is considered a cutting. More importantly, it's considered a clear face cutting, meaning it doesn't have any defects in it. It may have characteristics in it, but it doesn't have any defects. We have to take and determine what we call our surface measure, and that's the full width of the board in inches in fractions times the standard length, which in this particular example is 10 feet long. We take that number, so we'd have 5 times 10 is 50, and then we divide that by 12. So we'd have 50 divided by 12 would give us a 4-foot surface measure. And we would determine from that how much clear wood we have to have based on the surface measure, the size of the board, and how much clear wood we're able to get off from it. So this particular piece, the defect is showing bigger on this side, but what we're focusing on is the clear wood here. And so that's what all the different grades that we have would have to be based, for one, on board size, how much clear wood we can get around the defect. And this board is really pretty clean. It doesn't have much in it to really look at, but if we're looking for clear wood, but that's what we're focusing on. And each particular grade would have a certain amount of clear wood and yield that it would have to get. Each grade has a money value, and so really what the students are doing, they're learning how to grade lumber, put different grades on it. Fact of the matter is, we have what we call an FAS grade, a one-face grade, a select, a one common, a 2A common, a 3A common, and a 3B common. Each one of those grades has a different money value. So what they're doing is they're determining the grade of the board, but also at the same time they're putting a value on it, because each board would have a different value based on the grade. So sawmills, lumber companies, they would hire a lumber inspector to go ahead and identify what grade the board is, which would actually, in a sense, we always say they're like counting money, because when they put a grade on it, they're actually counting money. They're like an accountant. And so it's important that they get the right grade. And that's what we do here, is we teach them what the grades are, what the requirements are.